Hi everybody, my name is John Capobianco, and what I'm about to show you is the culmination of about 5 years of work in network automation, in infrastructure as code, everything from Ansible to PyETS, now to Django. What I've always wanted to do, envisioned in my mind, is to liberate and democratize network state information, where in the click of a button, we can get some command transformed into a usable business-ready document, a CSV file, a spreadsheet. No logging into the CLI, no show commands to memorize, no logging to a putty session and then taking the notepad and moving it into CSV field by field. Click a button, have the CSV file. Sounds simple? It actually was pretty simple. Let's take a look. So what I have here, my server is running, and I have this /CSV and then /LearnVRF, similar to how I have /API or the /OnDemand to get the buttons. Well, I have a button here. I'm going to click the button. In real time, immediately, there is the CSV file from the database for the LearnVRF. The whole database in a click in a spreadsheet. Now, I could do something if I go here and open this with VS Code instead. And now I can turn on my VS Code preview. And now I have search, sort, filter, find. Pretty wild, right? Okay, in the click of a button. So how do we do this? Well, I'm going to come back to you and show you how it's done. We're actually going to make a new button, maybe two. I'll see you real soon. Okay, so now that you're excited, and I'm excited, let's add a button to download the Learn VLAN CSV tables. Let's try it. Now, again, what the real magic here is that it's just another view. So we need URLs to present the page, and we need views, which are views into the models. So let's take a look and let's try to make one from scratch. So the URL we want, I'm just going to take these. No reason not to copy existing code. Copy my Learn VRFs, and let's make Learn VLANs at the bottom. And what we got to do is change the paths here. Learn VLAN. Learn VLAN. Now again, we need two URLs. Our resting page, where it's going to say, like, click the button here, VLAN. And then there's going to be a page here, the download, which is just going to fire off the code, meaning respond to the action of the button that they click. And this is going to be Learn VLAN CSV. All right, so those are our URLs. We're literally halfway done. Hard to believe, but we are halfway done. So now we need our views. So again, let's write these views. Well, what you see is there's two functions we need. The Learn VRF for the resting page, or VLAN in our case. So let's copy these and go to the very bottom and refactor them, but we'll go over them. So the function name is going to be Learn VLAN CSV, and this renders the page. Right? So this becomes VLAN. That renders this VLAN. So we need to actually make another file, a third file, this one here, but we'll come to that in a second. Now the actual function, the click the button action, is a response equals HTTP response of a content type, and we're downloading the Learn. Oh, I see. I want to change that. That's not right. Let's make this Learn VRF CSV and Learn VLAN CSV. Now here we do need to update not PyAT alias or the timestamp, but the fields in between here. So we need to reference our table. And this is the VLAN table. So we're going to go into our models and reference this VLAN. So we need operating system, and I'm just going to copy and paste them and bring them over one by one here. Now this is the header row. So we can say operating system here. You know what? I don't want operating system. That's in the testbed file. Let's do VLAN and then interfaces and then mode. And then name, and then shut down, and then state. So now we are going to plug them in from here, where this is VLAN this is interfaces. This has to match the model, remember. This is mode. This is name. This is shutdown. This is state. Now again, what I'm doing here, and I'm going to change that to VLANs, and this is VLAN. Now let's take a step back and see what we've done here. What we're doing is we're going and setting up a filter, just like our other filters here. Except this filter is going to be the value list, and we're going to pass those values in. So then for each VLAN in VLANs, write the row of VLANs. So that should be our button. Now, again, I referenced this Learn VLAN page. We need to make this page. So let's go into our templates. And we're going to make a new folder here called Learn VLAN. And we're just going to steal code from ourselves. And this is VLAN. And this says CSV file for Learn VLAN. CSV file has downloaded. We never even see this page, by the way, but that's fine. I make it anyway. And now we need under our normal Learn VLAN, just like we have under Learn VRF, the CSV. So we're going to do this and rename this VLAN CSV, and this is CSV file for Learn VLAN. Export CSV, Learn CSV for VLAN. Now here I have to change this to Learn VLAN, and then in our URLs, let me make sure I changed it. Yeah, Learn VLAN. That's the anchor point. So let's turn our server on. Let me save everything and turn our server on. I didn't mean to turn Steam on. Let's turn our server on. And Steam is still firing up. Let me 8000/CSV Learn VLAN, and there's our button. Yeah, go ahead. Just exit. So anyhow, excuse that. Now we have the button for Learn CSV, Learn VLAN, excuse me. Just like if I change this to Learn VRF, we have the button for Learn VRF. Now we have the button for Learn VLAN. Let's see if it works. So we click the export button and it doesn't work. Oh, I have a typo. Okay, well that's not bad. There's just a typo there. You might have even spotted it as I was going right here. Shutdown. Excuse me for the typo. Let's turn it back on. refresh the page, and then export CSV. And nothing is happening. I've missed something in my view. No, there it is, Learn VLAN. Sorry, I didn't give it enough time. And there's Learn VLAN. It's responding to all those button clicks. And there is the data. It doesn't look as clean as my other CSV file. I wonder why. Let me take a look at this. What does this look like in VS Code? Doesn't quite look as clean as my other one. Yeah, there's something not right with my body of data here. They are all the right fields, but it's giving it back to me more like JSON than CSV. Let's take a look at our view. I wonder what I've done wrong here, our view. And it's like this list here that's not quite working. Do I have that right? It looks right. I'm wondering why it doesn't look as pretty as VRF. Oh, I've made a mistake right here. That's why. So I'm glad I took a look. I typed VLANs here instead of VLAN. You're probably at home shouting at me that you could see that problem. Anyway, I'm glad I spotted it. Let's try it. And I might put a weight, some people have recommended a weighting, a spin or something to represent that it's downloading. It's not a bad idea. Now let's take a look at this file now that I've adjusted the typo. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. There's the CSV file. Very cool. Very cool. We can sort by VLAN, we can sort by timestamp, active, inactive, shut down, just the IoT VLAN. Very cool. Okay, so that was a little bit of a rocky road. I did make a couple little mistakes along the way there. In particular, just the typo there when I copied that. So let me put a break point in the video. If you want to take a break, now's a good time. And I'll come back and we'll do the last CSV button that's available to us, which is going to be the show version command, which is very valuable as a CSV file. Let's do that next. All right, I'll see you soon. Take a break if you need one. Okay, now that we've warmed up, let's make another button. Now this one has a lot of fields. So I might pause the video and fill in the gaps and then resume the video. But that aside, let's make a new button for the show version command to get it on demand as a CSV file. All right, now all this is going to take is a new URL and two new URLs. Now remember, with something like an action, like a button, you need two pages. One, the resting page that presents when there's no button action, and then the actual page that invokes the click of the button, if that makes sense. So now I'm just doing quick copy and paste here. This is going to be show version, CSV. This is going to be show version CSV download, and this is going to be show version CSV. All right, so now that we have two URLs, we need to update our views. And I'm going to steal working code like I always do, and to make sure I don't make any mistakes more than anything. And let's paste them in here and change this now to be our resting page. So show version CSV, which is going to be inside of show version CSV HTML. And we'll come back to making this page. And then here we need our download, our action page. So show version CSV, or the action that invokes the creation of this file the view, right, into the database. Show version CSV. Is that what I call the other files? Yes. And then here, and this is where I'm going to show you where to need to steal this from. This is our header row in our spreadsheet, and this is the data row. And where I'm going to get this from is the model. I'm going to reference the model. You can see there's a lot of fields in here that I need to map out. So what I'm going to do is I will go ahead, and again, to show you what I'm going to do, in the header row, I'm going to put boot flash, and then in the values row, I'm going to steal boot flash, and it has to be that value from the model. That's going to take me a couple minutes. I will finish that up, and then we'll come back and press the button. All right, I'll see you real soon. Okay, that didn't take so long. Let me switch back over now, and what we have is our header row here, writer, right row, and then for each version and versions, writer, right row, and version, which is the individual row grabbed from the database using this query. So we query based on these strings, register that as version, then for each one of them write a row in the database. Now the only things that's left is to generate this show version page, right? So under show versions over here, I'm going to need to take a template and put it in show version and rename this show version CSV. And in here, I am going to simply replace show right here, CSV file for show version, CSV file for show version, and the URL here is the show version. And now let's make sure that that is show version. All right, that's our anchor point to our URL. All right, let's turn on the server and see if we have a clickable button for the show version command. So we're going to go to CSV show version. Show version, did I type it in wrong? Oh, this has to be CSV. Sorry, excuse me. Ha! And now we click on the export button, and we should get a download, and let's take a look, and there is show version. Just in a couple of files, a real simple update. So that's how it's done. We make a CSV file as a view into the model. Remember, the database already has all the data. We just need to make a view and a way to present it as a downloadable file, which we've just done. Thanks again. We'll see you real soon. Stay safe.